T in transit Wednesday, October 11th at 8:24 a.m. on Maui, Hawaii, and Angel's back. That's amazing. Okay, and we're in line 4, right?
4.
Line 4?
Yep.
Pretty sure we're in line 4.
Guaranteed. 100%.
I was telling Emerald, I'm like, if I don't do the show, like I don't check the transit this often. So I love that I have to do the show because I have to check the transits.
Gotta know what's happening.
I gotta. Otherwise, it's like, I mean, sometimes it's really fun to like not check the transits and then check the transits later and be like, oh, that's why it happened that way. But yeah. Anyway, what's up, Prana?
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. Gate 57, gentle, intuitive clarity. Line 4, the director. Exaltation is the mastery of relationships that through clarity can maximize productivity, while the sensitivity to interrelationships will ensure harmony. The possible intuitive clarity to master relationships. Detriment is a tendency, given the position, to be dictatorial rather than directorial. With the gift of clarity to master relationships, the possibility of being intuitively dictatorial.
No dictators. We need directors.
Right, director versus dictator. Which that is such a fine line, and you know I get why Ra was saying like if I could go back, I wouldn't call it exaltation or detriment. It would just be this or that, because there's certain instances in which the dictator is actually more appropriate and of a greater good than the director, right? It's not just because the director is exalted in this that the director is always going to be like the best choice for the moment. Which in each of our, you know, if you have 57.4, really it would be the ability to shift between these two to leverage whatever would be best for each given moment, right? Because sometimes you have the ability to be a director, other times you have to be a dictator to get stuff done. Now, naturally, it's like obviously you would rather want to be in the director role, I would imagine, than having to bring the strong arm down. But again, this is like transitory energy, so this is something that we all get to experience today, where the dictator shows up, where the director shows up, and again, what our relationship it is. Think of parenting. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? So like leading by example versus not leading by example, but then telling them to do something, right? Do what I say, not what I do. Teaching me.
Okie dokie. 6 in the 4th place means remorse vanishes. During the hunt, 3 kinds of game are caught. When a responsible position and accumulated experience lead one to combine innate modesty with energetic action, great success is assured. The 3 kinds of animals referred to served for offerings to the god, for feasting guests, and for everyday consumption. When the catch answered all 3 purposes, the hunt was considered especially successful. So yeah, the 3 kinds of different, it's the offerings to God, feasting for guests, and everyday consumption. So it's being able to feed those around you, feed yourself, and then also offer up to spirit. When you can do that with your hunt, it's like great success.
It's cool to hear, because like I was thinking about some of my tithing, which I've kind of fallen behind on, and I'm like, man, am I breaking the magic spell that I'm weaving? Which the answer is yes, but also the answer is you also gotta, you know, take care of your family, and it'll just kick it back online when it's when you can.
Yep.
And so I think this month is gonna be, I'm gonna get back on it. But that being the sense that it's like it's an especially successful hunt when you have all 3. Like I was able to like feed my friends and feed my family, but I wasn't able to like feed any to God. So anyway, Prana says sometimes you need to be a dictator to kids, and 100%.
Yeah, and yes.
And absolutely sometimes you need to be to the squash the mutiny, right? Well, it's spirit plate, exactly. Yes. That's the thing too, is I'm trying to get my head around, or I'm working towards getting my head around feeding spirit first rather than feeding my family first. And that's been really challenging now that I have a child, because naturally it makes so much sense to like feed my family before I feed spirit. But that's like it's not necessarily in alignment with my highest belief around like spirit will take care of me if I feed spirit first. And I'm in that transition right now. So
I think, one of the easiest ways that actually is really practical to feed spirit is to say a prayer. Say a prayer before drinking water. Say a prayer before you eat your food. Say a prayer before you touch the land.
right.
Like, that is the most, like, simplest way to just directly feed spirits. Like, and like give thanks before asking for something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then in that instance, like I do that all the time. But the instance that I'm talking about is in reference to the tithing. So it's like I take 10% of all the money that I make and I just give it to like, someone that needs surgery, or a friend that needs a place to live or something like that. It's one of the ways that I feel like I go about that. So Prana says there's no spirit in that penta pressure. Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess so. I would. We gotta talk more about that. That sounds really cool to talk about. And yeah, only a little is needed. Also, bring ancestors in, bundles for our highest good, perhaps. Also, tithing could just being in community. So and I think actually that's an interesting thing, because once I stopped tithing, that's when the farming thing emerged. And like we go every week, and we're gonna be going there in a little bit to go farm upstream, literally upstream of the river that we live on. And yeah, so that's a good point. But Prana, yeah, let's we don't have time to go into it right now, but if you could put that in the where would that go? Parenting. We could do I'd love to have a conversation more about that in the like no spirit in the penta pressure. That'd be awesome. Thank you, bro. All right. So let's go to gate 51, line 4, limitation. A pure inventiveness and sometimes genius to find some opportunity even in the midst of the most devastating shock. The warrior ego that will find some way to answer the challenge. Detriment is a reasoned make-to-do mentality that is ineffectual in times of severe shock. The superficial ego that lacks the resources and depth to answer challenges. So this is like where the honor is. Seems like where the honor is being tested.
Mm-hmm.
All right, like I think about Troy, when Achilles is outside of Troy, and he's like calling him out, and Hector's like, I gotta go fight this guy. I'm gonna die, but I gotta go fight this guy.
Glimmer of hope in the hopeless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one. And then how that could manifest today. Interesting, right? Like with all the shocks, and I think this is like the whole like fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. That those are like the reactive states, as opposed to like being able to move through those initial waves and then actually respond to something. That's kind of really what we're looking at, is the how long does the shock take you out, right? And then what is the response from the shock? Is it the inability to answer the challenge, or is it the ability to answer the challenge, right? So you might see people going out of their way to answer a call, right? Because again, this is a transit, right? They might be going out of their way to answer a call. And actually, where do I have 51?
Yeah, I'm curious about mine.
Yeah, I have 51. You have 51 too.
Mm-hmm.
I have 51 in my Venus, my personality Venus.
What line?
6.
Nice. You looking at my chart?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
51. 51.3. That was yesterday in my South Node design.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Sweet.
Did a charge yesterday.
So, again, finding some way to answer the call, and it's really about the difference between like a superficial ego that lacks resources and depth, or a warrior ego, like a true warrior ego.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Ward. 9 in the 4th place means shock is mired. Movement within the mind depends for its success partly on circumstances. If there is neither a resistance that might be vigorously combated, nor yet a yielding that permits of victory, if instead everything is tough and inert like mire, movement is crippled. Yeah, it's like the same, like the warrior, the thing you were saying about like the guy going like, I gotta go fight this fight, but I'm probably gonna die.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, knowing when to discern, like, okay, do I send my troops out to this battle, or do we like divert and move somewhere else? If our encampment has been found, those kinds of things, like very warfare mindset on this one.
Right. Well, a lot of this information was used as a way to direct troops and lead people and stuff, and so that makes a lot of sense. And so in this, people are lacking the depth and resources to stand and fight, right? Mm-hmm. Or not lacking the depth and resources and having the ability to withstand the shock and still fight and die with honor. Yeah, Angel said something good here. She says, Gene Key says those who step through the 51 portal deliberately turn their backs on those before them to discover their own path. Which is very like individual, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like this is part of the individual circuitry. This is the bridge of mystical circuit away from tribal ritual to individual initiation and wakening. Ah, yes, that makes sense. Because all the other lines or all the other channels coming out of the heart are tribal channels. And this is the only one going to the G center that is the individual. And again, the G is like your identity and your essence. And so this is a really interesting bridge in the sense that it's like, again, people might turn their back on their tribe in order to discover themselves. And with that, you know, again, they might wrongly do that in the sense that, again, this is a transit, right? They might have the energy to do that now, but it's not necessarily a part of their design to 51 somebody. We're going to get really good at this. We're going to be like, oh yeah, she just like 37 to that dude. Mm-hmm. Or what that would be. Oh dude, she hella 18 to that guy. The mystical way. Prana, these like, it's so good. It looks like you made these in what is that thing? Microsoft Paint or Windows Paint.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean?
Great.
But did you make these?
I don't think so. 51, where's 51? Oh, okay. So to be drained by challenge.
Be drained by challenge. Huh. To embrace disorder, to separate from shock. That's what I got. I got the ability to separate from shock. You made this. How long ago did you make this?
This is great.
Like I recognize that font. It's definitely better than
paint.
It's better than papyrus for sure.
I'll make this.
2013.
Nice.
Dang, this is awesome.
I was a junior in high school.
Holy crap.
Young boy.
Wow. Well, this is great. I'm really happy about forever hating on the book. It's so funny because in high school I used to use that font all the fucking time and my teachers hated me for it. And now I get it.
That's great.
It also is just hilarious that my ex app, you know, is papyrus. And it's just funny. I don't actually hate the font. I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah, I just think it's hilarious because that's how everyone knows it. My X app for sure. What happened to my cards, bro?
Oh no,
they're all sticky. It's okay. This is a cheap deck, so I figured I'd do a card pull for us today instead of a hexagram. So I did a reading with a woman yesterday who was really into like numerology and card pulling, and she was great. She was really sweet, and she called me a genius. Also, it felt really great. I think some wax got on them. But anyway, it inspired me to want to do some card pulls for y'all today. Temperance. King of Chalices. Oh my god, and 10 of Chalices. Guys, this is like the best reading. It's like all bubbles and cups and water, right? So temperance is like removing of the armor, washing yourself clean, tempering yourself. King of Chalices would be like overwhelming emotions, emotions that are mastered. 10 of Chalices this is just like like pure happiness, and the 10 is like the peak of the numbers, right before it goes into the like prince, princess, queen, and king, or king and queen, or it would be, what is it? Page, knight, queen, and then king, but mine is a little different. But anyway, 10 is like the epitome of it. So you got like the little happy family and the emotions and stuff, which I'm really happy about this because this is our farm day. And so, yeah, this is good message for today. Great message for today. Well, we love you guys. We'll see you again tomorrow. This has been awesome. Angel, welcome back.
We missed you.
We missed you a lot, and we felt your presence not be here. So we're really happy you're back here. And also, feel free to take your space. Love that you know how to take care of yourself. And yeah, happy farming. Peace, y'all.
Bye.